and welcome everybody to another live stream for our conference. Tonight is the last night. We have a lot planned. Later, Yari is going to be on tallying the results of our officer elections, and then after that, we're going to have our actual meeting to kick off the conference. But before any of that, we have a presentation. Dustin is here, and you're going to pitch with us some technology and some systems that you think might be beneficial to us. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. I'm just going to jump into it. Are you ready?
Totally. Could just
Okay.
talk a bit about it and then go into
The floor is yours.
Cool. Okay. So first, some background for this. I have two different projects that I have been working on for a while, just in my spare time. One is the American Scorecard, or now I'm sometimes referring to it as a direct democracy platform. And the purpose of the American Scorecard is to allow people in general to score policies and score politicians according to their own viewpoints and how they particularly define things. And I'll go into details about how exactly it does that. It does so through some voting methods and also some calculations based on real world data. But we'll go over that later. And then there's another platform which is specifically for research and development in the open source space. And I'm calling that the Polari platform. And that allows for, like I said, open source research and development. It automates away database and API creation. And what that means is basically allows you to just have data saved and shared automatically. And it also allows you to discretize things into no code if you write code. And the purpose of that is to make it much easier for people to do research for free, even for really complicated things that are interdisciplinary. Because the current platforms that allow you to do that are very expensive and not very expensive, but expensive enough that it's difficult for a person without a company backing them to do research in a practical way comparable to companies. So I'll go into the American Scorecard first because that's more relevant, and then the Polari platform, which is still relevant to the scorecard because it gives backing for data that is to be used for the scorecard. But there is filler functionality that you could use besides that before integrating the two platforms. So for the scorecard specifically, I originally started working on this about 2 years ago. There was open request for how to make a scorecard for politicians, and I submitted a way to do so. They dropped making the attempt at one point, and I just continued working on it on my own. And I'll start with that. So here's the American Scorecard. And we have a table of contents. So just going to go over like what the American Scorecard is, which I did a little bit of. I'll give a sample calculation of a score and then discuss some of the issues that I can address, like legitimacy of different political statements and objective facts, explain how specifically it addresses the problem in some circumstances, and then go into worldview.
I do not mean to interrupt you, but if you are sharing your screen currently, we cannot see it.
What?
Or if you're attempting to.
Okay, that's not good.
I don't know. It was just working.
Can you see it now?
Oh, there we go. All right, continue.
Okay, I don't know how long that was not showing up. But yeah, this is the table of contents. So the introduction, I kind of talked through it a bit about what it is. The American Scorecard is a way of doing analysis of politicians and policies so that you can actually score them based on your own criteria. And then you can also take that further up in scales and aggregate them in different kinds of ways. We'll go into that a little bit. The legitimacy problem, discuss the credibility around political statements and objective facts. Worldview polling, which is the different kind of voting or polling that we are using to ensure that it's actually according to your own view that these things are being scored. And then talk about terms, which are subsections and kind of commonly used in math, but those are a part of how worldview polling works. Competitive scoring, I'm not going to go too much into that, but that's just how another part of worldview polling. Groups, which is general interest groups, so you can score how interest groups analyze things so that they have a legitimate role that can be analyzed as well. And then different ways people might use it according to what group they belong to, and so on. So going over this again, the scorecard is a tool that just helps to evaluate politicians and policies in general. It works like a report card, rating politicians on different issues based on how well they're handling them, according to your definition. It combines research, analysis, and voting by different groups to create that score. It's designed to help people make more informed decisions when voting and holds politicians accountable for their actions according to those informed decisions. It can be used by anyone, is the whole purpose. So for a sample of a calculation of a single score, we did this based on the concept of labor quality, but it's more about, I guess it might be more appropriate to call it like the quality of work from maybe someone who's working, their perspective. So I'll just go ahead and go to that spreadsheet that is giving the example of how to do that. So can you all see this spreadsheet? Sorry if this is a bit much.
Yes, you are still good on the screen sharing front.
Okay, cool. So in this example, we have all of the states, and this data is pulled. The source is just the census. And we have this data in particular came from 2020 and from the national census. We had a few terms that we used for the sample, and this type of analysis uses competitive terms and anti-competitive terms. So this is the more raw version of it, but in like an actual platform version, we wouldn't be doing the calculations by a spreadsheet. We would just have like a much more intuitive interface where you just have a description of what is union participation, and then people decide whether that is something good for them or bad for them or not important. And they say how much it's good or bad or not important. If you would put a 0 if it's not important, so that's not relevant. But you would separate things into competitive, which is a good viewpoint, or anti-competitive, which is a bad viewpoint. And you specify in respect to what is it competitive or anti-competitive. And in this case, it is what you view as a good place to be working. So this is a very simple version of that because it's just these three terms. But in the actual system, people could just go through various different definitions and terms that are real world data and choose what they want and vote on what should be considered for a given context. So we'll go through this. We have the different things we've calculated: the union participation, which is based on union participation rate per state, labor force participation rate as a good indication for workplaces. And then for a bad term, it's impoverished workforce, which means people working full time but are not making enough to be considered poor. And then minimum wage is another good one. So here for Alabama, you could see these scores go from 0 to 1 in the normal format. So 0.2 and 0.11 for Alabama. And then for minimum wage, Alabama had the lowest minimum wage, so they got a 0. So the worst competitor always gets a 0 for a good score, and or sorry, other way around. For a competitive term, you get a 0 if you're doing the worst, and a 1 if you're doing the best. For an anti-competitive term, you get well, it's intuitive. So if you're doing good, you get a 1. If you're doing bad, you get a 0. And this is already inverted for anti-competitives. So you have a second piece where you assign weights. So in this case, let's say it's like a 0 to 10, how good or bad it is. These are all positive weights. So in this case, we said union participation is a 5 out of 10, labor force participation rate is a 2 out of 10, and minimum wage is an 8 out of 10. So that's saying how important they are in terms of what makes a good workplace. And that would be something people vote on and could see independently from their own definition how good it is, or also as groups how good it is. And then how important it is to not have an impoverished workforce. In this case, it was a 6. But these are just samples, so it would be according to whatever people decide. So here if we go over here to the score out of 10, you can change this to whatever scale you want. But Alabama has one of the worst, and it has a 0.4 out of 10. And then as you can see, this one has an 8.8, and that's Connecticut. So Connecticut is doing pretty well by this definition of having a good workplace. And there will always be at least one state in this case that has a 10 out of 10 and one that has a 0 out of 10 because it's competitively defined. And that's an example of one way to approach it, but this can be applied to almost any kind of data and issue. So I'll go back to this. So sample calculation. So how does this help or what is the legitimacy problem and how can this help it? So the legitimacy problem is when political statements and objective facts become political issues due to questions about their credibility. The American Scorecard helps solve this problem by providing a more rigorous and easily analyzable from an expert perspective standpoint and just normal people as well in some cases, format for politicians and individuals who want to rely on facts-based governments to be able to actually look at things and have an objective way to say if they're good or bad, rather than people arguing about it and not really having a defined way to do things. And it also allows for people to account for the fact that different people have different viewpoints because you are defining exactly what your view of something is, and you're able to do it based on things that can be analyzed in the real world. So worldview polling or worldview voting, you could call this too. So this is basically what we were doing to create the score. The spreadsheet I showed you before is just one worldview vote. And it would be simpler because you would just have a definition and rate it 0 to 10 or whatever format you want. Make it more user-friendly. But whatever format you put it in, you can use it in this kind of context and apply it to actually scoring and keeping accountability of politicians and policies in general that are passed. Fact-based governance. So the scorecard helps politicians and groups operate based on robust facts and accountability. It can be used to present scoring methods and understand agreement levels as well between different groups, because you have those viewpoints in a data format. You can understand intuitively how someone who is maybe an expert in a field view things from a data standpoint, because they are telling you directly how important they think a particular piece of data is, and it's being voted on directly. So that way, people who are in a political standpoint can't just argue, hey, these experts don't think this is important. The experts directly tell you, this is what we think is important, and vote on it. And then you just have that information available to you. And people can do this for all different kinds of groups, not just experts, because this would be simplified down to a level that the average person can just use it, even though it is a bit more complicated on the back end. So I'm going to move on from this. So a lot of people are disenfranchised with politics right now. And I think that this could help with that, because it gives a way to actually hold people accountable and see when they are being dishonest. When people are able to just freely change the definition of something, there's just no way to keep them accountable. The second you call someone out, they just change what the definition is, and you can't do much about it. Only people who are experts in a particular field can really tell when something's wrong, and even when those experts speak out, maybe they just get discredited or they just don't get covered in some cases. And this is supposed to be a way to maybe help that as well, by allowing people to just directly represent themselves and their opinions through a voting method that won't get drowned out by people spreading misinformation campaigns, I guess, or at least limiting the impacts of them. So terms are basically those different pieces that I had mentioned earlier, and like minimum wage and impoverished workforce, different things that you consider when you're thinking about a specific context. So these are the real world things that are connecting back that you're using to grade someone on something. And this is just a pretty general thing that's used in a lot of different engineering and math in general sort of things. I guess that's the easiest way I could put it. So you can compare things by having people go through and make a consensus about something. And sorry, I phrased that wrong. So, for example, if you had a group of experts, you can just use a worldview vote to directly determine whether something by consensus is actually relevant and important in respect to a particular issue. And you don't need to depend on people telling you that outside of this system, I guess, if you use it, or if people in general actually use it to express their opinion. How are terms competitive, and how do you stop people from just saying, oh, that isn't the right way to use something from an expert perspective? Well, so you can have this kind of analysis where you establish consensus. You basically just use a flow chart, right? So not everyone will know what a flow chart is, but most people, once they look at them, kind of get the hang of it pretty quickly. You just have blocks of discrete data where you're talking about one thing or another, and one point flows into the next, and you're showing what are the different steps in logic for something. So this is just a simple example of one way you can have two competing terms. So uncontested seats in the US, both of these are different ways people have, like in the real world, calculated uncontested seats in the US. And one might be considered more misinformation than the other. And this breaks down exactly why is it misinformation on one side compared to the other. So in one case, you just directly calculate, right? So you just convert from the state uncontested seats and the state total seats. So per state, you're calculating percent uncontested seats per state. And then you're getting the average from that. In this case, you're just directly calculating nationally, and that gives you a more direct, like actually representative version. And in this case, uncontested seats in the US average across states nationally. Sorry, I might have mixed those up. So in this case, you add an extra step and it actually loses data in the process. But both are considered valid and sometimes referenced in more official sources. But in one case, they would want you to believe there's actually less contested seats, and this using this particular calculation method would show it as actually having a lower amount of uncontested seats, and this method would not because it more directly calculates it. And unless you actually break down the steps, you don't notice that. But in this section, people who have more experience would notice that there's actually a loss of data compared to the other version. So people who are more expert or experienced might vote on, hey, this step causes a loss in credibility compared to the other step. And you have expert analysis of this being the worst comparatively to this in terms of ways to actually analyze this issue of uncontested seats. And you can apply this to almost anything as like a way of building consensus of the best way to do something or a best way to calculate something so that it's more honest. And there are other related things that you have to account for in dealing with data like this. So different kinds of professions have different ways that they talk about things, even if they are in reality the same thing. And even within a single company or branch of a company, even people might talk about the same thing using different words, and you have to account for all of that and the fact that some people just are saying different things but mean exactly the same thing, and you have to meet people on that because not everyone can just relearn a more common format off the bat. So there's quite a bit to account for there. And the fact that some people are using worse versions of terms than others, which can be objectively analyzed, as I showed previously. And then some things are composites of many terms. And you also have to break that down. And you can make multiple layers of terms and stuff like that. And I'm not going to go into the details because there's not enough time for that. And I'm going to move on. So competitive scoring, we talked about this a bit earlier. So basically you have to have at least two competitors for this to be used. In the case of a lack of a competitor or useful comparisons, you could set expectation values for terms, or even if you do have competitors, you can also still use expectation values if you think all of the competitors are terrible. And you could just set theoretical ways that people should be performing or should not be performing in the case where it's bad. So you can make competitors basically anything. You can make them towns, candidates in politics, businesses, or even products, like comparing solar panels to just a gas power plant or something. When used in a political context, people are expected to read and understand the abstract purpose of each term and weigh them according to how impactful they believe it is, and also say whether it is good or bad, because we are not predefining that, or if it's irrelevant. Uh, yeah. Move on. Groups. So this is just allowing people to define if they belong to a particular interest group in respect to a given subject, or belong to a group in general. Like you could say you're a Republican or a Democrat or a pirate, and then you could understand by people voting on things what are the actual views objectively of this group, and doing that and then having an individual do it on their own, they could actually see directly who is the person who most aligned with my view on particular issues. And then they can have a data analysis of actually who would represent them best, assuming they actually act according to the interests they declare, uh, and stuff like that. But there would be different ways you can aggregate within groups. The individual level is the most direct way, obviously. But the way you would aggregate within groups will be political, so I won't go into the details of that. So for voters and communities, the scorecard allows people to assess the current status of their communities in comparison to other communities, and maybe identify what were the best policies or practices that other communities have done historically. And it also allows them to define that from their own viewpoint rather than just depending on someone else telling them. Uh, so the same data used by politicians to develop the policies would also be used to show voters what ideals they actually align on with candidates. So politicians might directly say what they believe by filling out their own scorecard, and then people could analyze their alignment based on that. But then you can also analyze it based on how they actually developed policies and voted on policies historically, assuming you actually or someone actually did all the work to account for that within the policies for all of the data. So I've already talked through this in my rambling. So the scorecard is available to anyone, or supposed to be available to anyone who wants to develop their own terms and policies. You would want to, in a public space, actually to adhere to the law, actually need to review certain parts of it to prevent people from leaking secure information that could get you in trouble. But you would want to have reviews of those reviews, I guess, as well, to prevent people from abusing that. So for industry and unions, the scorecard could allow industries to demonstrate their competitiveness as well. Like, for example, I gave before, in respect to solar panels and versus gas-powered power plants, that's not something that should have ever been in the realm of public debate, honestly. It's something that, as an engineer, you can go in and objectively analyze, like, what is the best one on the market, what is the worst one on the market, and then just that should really be the end of it to some extent. And then if people want to use morality or whatever as a basis for why they want one instead of the other, that is a separate issue. But you can, yeah, some things should not necessarily be political. You can objectively analyze some things, and allowing people to directly vote from an expert perspective and be able to connect the logic of why their expert perspective is that way could, I think, help prevent a lot of conflicts. And that's another portion of this. So I've also talked about this. I feel like I've been rambling a bit. So in respect to politicians, the scorecard helps politicians reinforce their credibility if they actually utilize it, because it makes them possibly more informed by allowing more information to be available to them when they develop their policies. And it also gives them access to more professional advice and understanding of what the public actually wants, because you get that directly from the source and it's not just specific companies doing it. It's just groups of people with qualifications or groups of people with particular interests, and you're seeing directly what they want rather than doing it through a proxy. Um, in this way, the scorecard can kind of act as a method to implement direct democracy, although it's not people always directly participating if they choose not to. People can, through casting their worldview ballots, show their intent and what they actually want in terms of a strict definition. And people can also participate in the refinement of exactly those definitions despite not being experts. But uh, it, yeah, you would want to distinguish between people who are experts and aren't, and then like people who are also very relevant to it, and just different groups in general. I'm babbling again. But so in regards to STEM professionals, so the scorecard or actually acts as a way to help show what academic consensus is properly or more properly in the public space, so that groups or politicians or whatever can't misrepresent what consensus actually is or lack of a consensus. Um, so there's the other platform I talked about that is meant to allow STEM professionals to directly upload their work in almost any format. It's not particularly efficient, but it's open source. And in this way, they can directly submit their work and have analysis happen in an open format. And then you can also have openly how those are converted into terms in stuff like the flowchart I showed earlier. And that way, anyone can just look at it and know intuitively, at least to some extent, because there will be some professional level stuff in there, how exactly processes happen to get those terms and whether they're sketchy or very straightforward or whatever. Uh, yeah, so it allows for multiple levels of abstraction, but for people to also go down to very, very specific stuff, uh, however deep they want to go. So, conclusion, the scorecard is a tool for competitive analysis of politicians and policies and how they actually impact us from our own viewpoint. Uh, it can benefit politics, industry, and STEM fields by promoting informed decision making and collaboration for consensus building. It can help identify community needs and potential solutions by looking at historically what happened, because all that data would be available and all of the policies leading to those issues happening. It can reinforce credibility and ensure academic consensus is properly represented instead of misrepresented as it is sometimes in the current environment. Uh, so also just please note that this is very much a work in progress, and I've been working on this basically by myself. So it doesn't look great, even though it is functional and testable. Uh, so yeah, these are just examples of me running an older version of it on my local host. It looks not great, but yeah. All right, that's all I got for the American scorecard for now. Does anyone have questions in regards to that?
Yeah, I do have a bit of a question. So I really like this. I like a lot of the individual modules, and I really like the thought process behind it all. Uh, but it's definitely very complex, right? So if we wanted to use a system like this to help enrich, we'll say the pirate party, how would we go about teaching everyone how this works and sort of make it sound intuitive so people don't feel overwhelmed with all the different things that you can do with this?
Right. So the way I would say to do that is through testability. So the way people understand most things in respect to code and just complicated systems in general is to test it in a context that they actually understand. So for someone who works in the car industry, for example, they will know the obscure things that are wrong or right in that particular industry, and they will be able to apply that. So they could just use a scorecard sample score and put in exactly what they feel is right and wrong with it and what kind of data goes with that, or work with someone to help them do that. And then see if it corresponds to their intuition based on the way they score it. Uh, so almost everyone who has worked in general, I guess, will have something that they understand in depth, right? So meet people where they are from, because everybody understands something at an expert level, in quotes. Uh, so show people that something they understand and just know intimately, like what their intuition is about something. And when they try to use it and see how it turns out, they will say, hopefully, uh, yeah, this actually represents exactly what I thought. And then, yeah, I guess that's the extent of it. It's
Yeah, no,
just,
no, that helps answer my question. Thank you.
yeah,
V, did you have anything you wanted to add or any questions to ask? I don't see any from chat, but I will check again.
I have no questions presently. Thank you.
All right, you've got about 20 minutes left before, if Yari is on time, that's when they'll hop on. Did you want to go over your other presentation?
sure. That one
All right.
might actually be more difficult to understand, but we gotta go through
That's
this.
all right. And if you want to talk about these things in the future, believe me, we're always looking for an excuse to stream or do something like this. So don't think that your time to explain this is limited to the conference.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is Polari. So this is in reality just for general research and development. Uh, so with the Polari framework, it's basically meant to help scientists and engineers, more or less. Right now, if you're in the STEM community, it is quite difficult and expensive to get your hands on software that can actually help you do something experimental. Uh, but larger companies have a lot of tools at their disposal, put it that way. And the current tools that are available will help them outperform a single person working by themselves, like in virtually every case, because you can run tons of simulations of one thing for almost no costs, except for like running your computer for a while if you work for a larger company. Whereas you have to program something from scratch and then run it and then figure out what's wrong and redo it if you don't work for a larger company. So this helps to some extent to level the playing field between individuals who want to innovate and larger companies. Uh, Another good feature of this is with further development, it should hopefully allow you to do valuation for open source to objectively analyze whether particular scientists and engineers made something that is truly like logically unique and innovative from an objective standpoint, which could be used for a basis of particular kinds of like contracts to evaluate the value of something, even in the case where you have AI being applied to it after the fact to develop it further. So you can also apply this to other contexts like art to mathematically analyze art, I guess. But yeah, that's getting away from the main point, I guess. It is a approach you could use to retain value even in an AI industrial revolution. So what are things the Polari platform can do? It can help you with consensus building, which is part of the functionality I had shown before, where you just use those flowcharts. Using it in a similar context, scientists can build consensus. It can help with the credibility crisis, the same way I mentioned before. Helps with interdisciplinary work because it allows you to abstract away complex work from different disciplines and then allow people to just use pieces of them and plug in, get outputs, so that people can just work on the things they're skilled in and just use other people's work openly, and be able to share the value of that, or at least be credited for it. And then it increases the availability of science and also makes reviews faster because it just allows people to openly participate in scientific reviews rather than having more complicated processes for it. Increases solution usability because it allows you to just share research and methods instantly rather than having to go through process of necessarily publication reviews and all of that for maybe years before people really see it and are able to use it. And then, yeah, valuation of work with AI. It can allow you to be resilient to the rise of AI in terms of your work being valued. And this can be applied not only to, I guess, knowledge work, it can also be applied to general work for analysis of, I guess, how much did people contribute to society in general by doing their general work, or how much, yeah, different stuff like that. Because you can use this democratically together with the other platform to establish value. So going back to solutioning, building logical consensus can generalize the approach for reaching consensus on issues that are logic-centric, combining both debate and abstract logic together with physics and real-world related simulations and analysis, and using both of those in the same space. Identifying how different actual logic models from an expert standpoint with a similar purpose may be the same or may be different. Can analyze which models are more robust or efficient and which might be more useful for a specific scenario. Like, for example, if you're building solar panels in one area of the world, it might actually be useful to build them with different materials compared to another area of the world because you might have more of them available. Creating more of a hub, or you can both centralize or distribute it, decentralize it, and use that for keeping things secure and credible in respect to whatever field or group you belong to. So the target group for this particular product is engineers and scientists, but it is still relevant to the general public because it is that group who analyzes and produces a lot of the things that we use in the modern world. And what they do does directly impact how policy should be made and how the world runs in general. And it allows for people to do things both at a very abstract level, just showing it as like a block on a screen that's saying what it's doing, to a very advanced level where you can go directly into what the data is, how it was derived, where they got it from, all of that stuff. So product overview, we have structured logic, analysis of uniqueness of information, and general analysis, which is what we would use to establish value of different actions and knowledge and how they build on one another. Enhancing interdisciplinary research and development by allowing people to use both code for development and no code. No code being like those flowcharts I showed. Code being like write something complicated in code for a computer. And then the Polari platform allows you to just put like a little @ symbol above that code, and then you can share it as one of those blocks that people can plug stuff into and take stuff out of. And then logic-oriented and evaluation. So we're just breaking down logic, building consensus about that, and evaluating what things are the same and what things are actually different, even in minor ways, and building a catalog of that, basically. And then using that as a basis for what are the value of things. Even if we don't have particular expertise, we can do an analysis based on the breakdown of people who do have expertise. And we can apply that to new situations in a constantly evolving world. And resolving the credibility crisis by participation. The credibility crisis, I think, is largely due to the exclusion of the average person from the process of the refinement of credible logic and the privatization and closed source status of that refinement process. People describe most things as black boxes, but there isn't really anything that's actually a black box. Someone somewhere understands these things and can break them down for people. We just aren't allowing people to do that, or we haven't put into practice a particular way that would help them do that. So this would be aiming to give people a straightforward and easy place to be able to provide that credible approach and break it down for people. So product benefits, it simplifies complex projects. I know all of this looks like complicated to probably most people. It's complicated because reality is complicated in a lot of cases. And sometimes we are like way oversimplifying things that are actually really complicated. But the point of this is to have really complicated things turned into simple things that you can dive as deep into as you want to and actually see the difference between stuff. And then have the most credible versions of things by the people who dive deep into it float up to the top through competing and voting and stuff like that. And it also is meant to create new revenue streams for people who develop things in an open format and license things in an open format, so that people actually have like an incentive and a way to survive if they do spend most of their time creating free and open things for people, if it provides value and people perceive it as providing value. So, yeah. The platform is meant for coordinating research. Every user and collaborator contributes to and receives potential profit from that process if it's determined democratically to have value and people put money into it or decide to. And we maintain that platform to ensure it is fair and transparent while also having the way to do so open source, so that if anything happens to the particular company where it gets sketchy, someone else can take over the mission. We believe people need a new way to innovate and collaborate, and businesses in general need a way to profit honorably after AI happens. The platform uses logic flowcharts, scorecards, and custom no-code solutions to create a dynamic platform that eventually becomes easy and intuitive for the end user, without compromising on actual real-world in-depth analysis. So it gives a new way for research and development to be valued, a new way for general work to be valued, and it also gives a way to value social aspects. Current things that sort of do kind of an equivalent of this in terms of research and development. There's COMSOL, which does simulation software. It's also pretty complicated. And those cost between $600 to $4,500 per license. So like per computer you want to run it on, it costs about that much. ANSYS, which cost $45,000 for a software license, and MATLAB, which you have to more do custom configuration and cost between $149 to $2,150 for an individual license. And there's more added on to MATLAB for more complicated situations. Polari should be free and open for anyone to make copies of, basically. And people decide based on what value it actually provides in the real world, how much value should be assigned to things, and how that value should be distributed to contributors. Yeah. So the Polari framework paired with a democratic platform like the scorecard can provide a foundation for an alternative method of more honest valuation for innovation and invention. So it's meant to be an alternative method to help with the reform process of patents and stuff like that, so that you can just be open and honest and still have a way to make a living. Yeah. It can provide researchers and product developers far cheaper and more efficient methods to innovate and be able to still survive off of doing research and development, while also efficiently making it cooperative with other groups by open sourcing it and maintaining credibility of the process. Thanks. That's what I had for that. Anyone have questions?
I don't have anything. Oh, V.
Yes. So I know that we've talked a little bit about the no code on different times for like somebody who who knows like platforms such as what you see is what you get. Is that similar to what you're saying in no code? Because when I think of no code, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna graphically tell the program what I want it to do, and then it's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
not accurate. But the difference here being like,
you don't see it.
well, you could make stuff that, so like the thing is, like, in the code itself, it has like I said, the decorator, which is just like a little @ sign you put above whatever code you write. So people would define how they want that little box to show up, or whatever shape they want uh, to put into the no code solution. So people would be defining and sharing their own pieces, and it would be straightforward to make like even really complicated things into those, like simulation software and stuff for research. Um, so, for example, something I thought about as doing as an example for this later once it's further developed. Uh, so, you could have simulations for weather patterns, different kinds of experimental solar cells, and then electrical grids, and also kinds of different batteries connected to electrical grids. Uh, Different experimental parts you could put into electrical grids and whatnot. So you could use different no code pieces for all of those, and then people from different expertise could contribute things they've already built open source and interconnect those open source solutions as no code, and then also like have recordings and reports built up based on like what performs well or not based on their own criteria, which they could also make a no code part, and then just make an overall simulation of what would be a good way to make a grid based off only solar, and then run that with different things that they have. Yeah. I feel like I forgot what the question was. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Look, you've done great. We are always down to talk about open source software that helps with democracy and science. I mean, what else would we be here for, right? We all love this stuff. So thank you so much, Justin, for your time. I believe Yari is about to arrive soon. We will get the voting process underway. Um, any final notes from you?
Nope, that was pretty much all I had, I think. I have shared, I think, the direct democracy stuff in the Discord before, and I'll share other stuff again if people ask, or just hit me up in the Discord at some point. Dawsome is my username.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry. I've been pronouncing it like Dasame.
Yeah, it's whatever. It was made up. It's not like there's a proper way to pronounce it. Okay.
I'll remember that. All right. It doesn't look like we have Yari yet, but we do have Drew. Welcome, Drew.
Howdy. Good evening. How is everybody?
I'm doing pretty well. I've been trying to get a lot of people to vote. Speaking of which, it is 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. So the voting form has closed, and there's Yari.
Hi. The voting form has closed. It is closed now. I just hit the closed button. Hello. Okay, so I have not looked at the results. I don't know what they are. We'll see. I don't know. I was gonna say it doesn't matter, but it obviously does. It's pretty exciting. Okay. I'm gonna oh yeah, if we need to do the stream reset thing, now is actually a good time.
I have been noticing that I don't know who paid for it, but the stream has not been shutting off.
Yeah, it hasn't been. So I think we're good. So I don't know, let's just go with it. If we need to reset it, we need to reset it, and I think we've earned enough trust that we know you all can vouch for me. Once I start sharing my screen, I'm not gonna go and what I don't know what I would do. I'm gonna change everyone's votes. I don't even know how to do that.
So how is this process going to work? Are you
let
going
me
Yeah.
1 second. There's a couple things that need to happen.
Well, how much fanfare do we need for this? Are you going to open up the screen and get an estimate at the very start, or are you going to work through some of this manually? Like, is this the fanfare moment, or is the fanfare moment in an hour?
I think the fanfare moment is in a little bit. It's not quite so quick. Sorry, my brain can only handle so many things at once.
That is all right.
Here's what is going to happen. I am going to close this. I'm going to close it a couple things, just that I'm not. Oh wait, no. Maybe I want to keep that. Okay. I'm just gonna navigate to.
Oh no!
What?
Cartoon fan from California just now sent me a DM saying, "Thanks, I'll check the voting form out."
Oh, so sad. Right. I think we should put a thing out and say on the Discord and say, "Hey, the voting form is closed." But that is very sad. Look, it was a preset time.
Yeah.
Not much to do about that. Okay. I'm going to the results page. I'm going to the download page. So once I'm at the download page, now I can start streaming, because unfortunately, if I just navigate to the results page, it shows all the results. And so I don't like hitting the streaming button when I do that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And I am going to turn off my camera so that my computer has some semblance of, or my internet has perhaps some semblance of, I don't know, something. Let's allow screen share. Okay, now we get the everything. There we go. Okay. You can see this, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We are at you can see the interface now. Okay, but this is, right, support.uspirates.org. I'm at the web form results for voting and nominations, and I'm at the download page results. Cool. Okay, great. I'm just making sure I'm doing everything right. I'm going to download this as an HTML table that I can open in Excel, because that I've learned is the best way to do this. And then I'm going to download here. There we go. Okay, great. Done. This is a test run from earlier, way earlier, before anyone submitted stuff, by the way. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to, I don't know, open it. Yes, I know I'm sharing my screen. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks, Jitsi. Downloads. Open. Okay. Yep. Auto import. Okay. So the nice thing about these files is, because they're so big, they have so much data in them, right? The first like X number of columns does not have anyone's data in them. So I can just like scroll down and then go over to what I know the first column of actual interesting data that we can use is. Also, I'm going back over to Jitsi because I feel like I'm getting messages that might be relevant. Nope. Okay, just making sure. Okay. So I'm going over to what I know the first column of actually useful data is, and then I'm scrolling back up. Now we have numbers. See, it's like, there is definitely a technique of a better way of doing this. I know there's a better way of doing this. I know there's a better way of doing this that isn't just basically what I just did is, I'm not looking. And I took you all with me. You were all coming with me on the I'm not looking journey, right? So here's the sign me up for vote with the mailing list. So someone signed up for stuff. We'll get that later. We'll get that data later. But here's all the data. Great. Okay. Actually, honestly, AJ, it looks like
Mhm.
this. From this, we can basically call that for you right now. Just
Do
looking
we
at
want
it.
to call it already? Are those all of the forms?
This is all of it. So this is the rankings.
Mhm.
People did put 1 right in
But
this
you can do
column.
a number greater than 3 or
Yes, you
5.
can. Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that. All
Yep.
right.
So
Good to know.
yeah. And I specifically in the verbiage never said anything about like what numbers you had to put in there. Just that
Interesting.
numbers closer to 1 were ranked were
Interesting.
indicated a higher preference. Right. So I'd be happy to do the math on this. Just as a here's my here, let me this was using fake data. I generated this by naming out the digits of pi, which I do have memorized up to 40 something digits. Stupid. Anyway, okay. But because there's 3 candidates, we can just create a thing that goes, okay, so AJ is candidate A, V is candidate B, V is candidate B. That's hard to say. Mitch is candidate C, right? And so we kind of go like, okay, A, B, or B, C, right? And basically this just becomes like a fun little thing where it's like, okay, we can go through and we can go, okay, how many, I mean, again, like this is pretty obvious with this one, right? But like how many candidates, how many voters chose candidate A over, this is a null field because it's candidate A versus candidate A, candidate B versus candidate B, candidate C versus candidate C in this little matrix here, right? Can y'all see that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what it means, but I can see it.
Well, this is like we're comparing candidate A to candidate A. Doesn't matter,
Mhm.
right? We're comparing candidate A to candidate B. Okay, now things are interesting, right? So this is like so how many voters prefer the first to the second? How many voters prefer candidate A to candidate B? So in this case, that would be how many voters prefer AJ to V. Okay, so here we have 1, right? This first person preferred AJ to V. This second person ranked AJ 2 and then V 3. So that is also, yes, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7, 8. No preference indicated. 9, 10, 11. No preference indicated. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right? So that's a 22 there. Preferred A to B. Vice versa, how many preferred B to A, right? How many preferred V to AJ? So here I would say, right, and for chair position specifically. It's weird because like the form doesn't actually, it didn't actually like put delimiters between the downloads version of this form, right? Doesn't put delimiters between the chair position and the vice chair position, but like they were put in a specific order. And also like you can kind of just tell based on like if you know which candidates were in which columns, right? Like I know there were 3 candidates for chair and then there were 5 candidates for vice chair, right? Excuse me. So anyway, once again, I don't know. Should I do the math on this? Like, we can do the math on this. And I think it's interesting.
Do it.
We probably need to do the math to ensure that we have the right order, right? See, because
2.
we asked about that. We should probably make sure. And by looking at it, I think the order is me, Mitch, V. But we should, we do need to do that math so we can deliver the right results.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So, okay. So then, I think, what we do here is we go, There's got to be a way to sort by this column. Because that would make things really nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, there we go.
Not to apply any pressure, but you do have an hour to announce this.
I know. That's actually like not much pressure. Well, no, that's actually a fair bit of pressure. Okay, hang on. Right. Sort sending. Oh no, wait. Hang on. Cancel. Oh, come on.
If there's a majority of ones for one person, you don't have to do the rest of the calculation.
I know, I agree. So here's the thing. So AJ is the one who got that position, is the thing, right? And we can publish this, and like AJ, here's the thing. I think we can go through and do the full analysis later. But like if we're going like, okay, for the chair position, that means like AJ is the clear winner.
Okay, so you're saying we can move on and do the exact math for the other positions later. Yes.
Yes, 100%. Right. Because honestly, like, you know, yeah. I think that's probably the clearest result we're going to get out of any of these. If I had to guess. Well, except for the uncontested ones. Okay. So, nope. Gosh, it does that. Right, autocomplete. B, C, D, E. Nope, that's S. Okay, I'm going to go back to my other thing where I was doing analysis. Just in case I have to do path analysis. We're going to do that. Okay. And I'm going to just... Okay. Okay, so this is chair is up here, and then I'm gonna go vice chair. Okay, there we go. Okay, clear out all this because these numbers were from my test data. Okay, so again, comparing A to A, comparing B to B, comparing C to C, comparing D to D, comparing E to E. Okay. Comparing B to A. So that is put a line along the side of these just to make my brain happier. Oh, can I? Oh no, wait. I want a thick border. Just along the edge. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, whatever. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so comparing B to A. So how many voters preferred B to A? So that's 1 here because Mitch is ranked higher than AJ there, so B to A. Okay. That doesn't count. Okay, 2 right there. 3, 1 to 2, 4, 2 to 4. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. Okay. So B over A, 9. And actually, oh wait, I'm sorry. Hang on. 1, 2. Where were the instances where AJ had a ranking or Mitch had a ranking and AJ didn't, or vice versa? Because I'm forgetting that means there's no preference, not that it's a different preference, right? So no preference indicated means that I just don't count that one because that comparison is null, right? So if there's a preference here and there's no preference here, it's a null comparison, right? So apologies. I still think the results here are very clear, right? Although I know that means this number needs to be changed. But right, so that's one. So -1 here, right? Because this one has a preference and that one doesn't. I don't think there were any others. Okay, so that's actually an 8. Okay, how many people prefer A to B? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although actually, you know what makes this analysis easier? So here's the thing, and I guess this is the question, is we had decided that people can only fill one role and that we were going in order that was determined by the bylaws, which means, AJ, if we count this, you have chair, you are not in the running for vice chair.
Yes. I assumed we, built into the system would be a way of taking me out. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, which actually means, basically, built into the system, it means basically I just go like this. There's 4 options now, right? And right, it's the same thing. It's just, it makes all of this much easier. So now, now what we get is I can just look at the rest of them, right? We can just look at these. Okay, so A to B, preference A over B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, preference A over B. A over B, 10. Okay. Preference B over A. Also, if y'all want to run like commentary, I can shut up and just do math.
I mean, I don't know what kind of commentary I would add unless you were doing some kind of sports play-by-play.
No, exactly.
It would be difficult to do with the vice chair race because I don't know who is favored to win here, and I personally abstain.
Yeah. Okay. B over A. So. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. A over C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, A over C is 15. Preference A over C, 15. Okay. A over D. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Preference A over D is 7.
I think you miscounted one.
Yeah, on that one?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
that one's good. That one's 1. The first one is 1.
Yep.
We're doing A over
D.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
1. Thank you. I appreciate it. 2. 3. 4.
mhm.
5. 6.
So I got lost
7.
in there too. Maybe there's one more. Okay, yeah. I think there's one more.
8. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Appreciate it. B over A is counted. B over C. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. B over D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Okay. And this is C over A. C over A. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna page through this one, but well, no, I don't know. Okay, C over A. Looking for instances where this is lower than that. Yeah. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. C over A is 4. C over B. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. C for B is 7. C over D. Okay. C over D. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. C over D is 5. D over A. D over A. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. D over B. 1. Yeah, D over B means D is going to be lower. Yeah, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. B over C.
No, Michael, to answer your question, Yari is comparing one candidate to another candidate to see which number is lower to show that that person has how many people prefer that candidate over the other candidate is the way I
Correct.
understand it.
Correct. D over C. So preference for D over C is indicated by C being higher or D being lower. Right. So D over C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 for D over C. Okay. So now we have our array. And what's useful here a little bit is to go like, okay, B over A compared to A over B, right? B over A is stronger than A. Excuse me, I'm sick right now. Right? B over A is stronger than A over B. So that is to say, when putting B and A next to each other, more voters prefer B to A. Although it's a pretty slight margin in this case, right? But that means either way, no matter the margin, unless they are equal, we're gonna put them like that, right? Okay. And similarly, we can do the same sort of pairs-wise things, right? So C over B compared to B over C, right? B over C is favored, right? B is favored to C in that pair up, right? B, yeah, C over B compared to B over C. Yeah, so B is favored in that pair up. Okay, so either way, bigger number reflects across the axis, right? And honestly, it's sometimes just easier to think about it that way. But, right. E over C. C over A. And so we get C. C over A. D over A compared to A over D. And D over B compared to B over D. Okay. So, of these, we can kind of look and go, okay, when in matchups, right, A has some, like we can kind of look at this and we can kind of go, okay, in matchups, honestly, I'm looking at this and I'm kind of going, okay, D is the strongest of these, right? And I think it's pretty clear based on these matchups that when D is put against A, D comes out. When D is put against B, D comes out. When D is put against C, D comes out, right? And if there were one of these that where that wasn't the case, then I might kind of go, okay, maybe we should do some more thorough analysis. But the fact that it's like, okay, it's D whenever in any of these sets, right? D is the candidate who wins that matchup. Tells me that D is the candidate that is the best of the set. Yeah. And that's like that's the Scholl's method, basically. That's the way that works. If there's not a clear, right, if there's not a, I mean, the way that this is the way it defines clear winner, right? If there's not a quote unquote right clear winner at this stage, is based on these matchups, right? Then you kind of go into like path strength BS, which is, I mean, it's not BS. It's actually very interesting, but it also takes some annoying math to do. And so I am admittedly a little bit relieved that I don't have to do that annoying math. Yeah. Okay. That's that. Candidate D, I'm pretty sure is candidate D for Drew in this case. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's
All
you.
right. Do we want to call it for Drew?
I'm calling it for Drew.
Okay. I will post that on the Twitter. Congratulations, Drew.
Thank you. I mean, it's far from a landslide, though. So, I mean, everybody else was good. I think there were good candidates there. We had a lot of votes.
For sure.
So
That was close.
that's great, though. No, that's good participation.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how y'all work together.
Real quick, I forgot. How do you spell the name of that type of voting again?
Oh, Schulze. Scholz.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If it was really German, there
missed
wouldn't be
the
an E on the end. Yeah, that's because you were thinking German.
Yeah, you gotta have that German something. Yeah. Okay. Next up, we got secretary, which is just the thing with this is this is just a one-on-one.
This is a one.
This is a one-on-one, and we just count them up.
Easy.
Yeah, we just count them up. So we just go, okay, right.
Count the ones.
Count the ones, right? 1, 2.
Wait,
3,
you missed
4,
one
5,
up here.
Well, technically.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me double check that count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 9. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. So that's 12. Right. So that's 9 ones, 12 ones. And then we got
two-way race is a lot easier.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Yep. 12 twos. That matches up. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. 9. 2, and then a 9 and 9. Yep. Okay. So that's.
And when you use the same number for multiple people, that's essentially casting a non-vote.
It's indicating no preference. Yeah.
I see.
So it's indicating no preference between these two. It's in a 2-person race. This is essentially a non-vote, right? If it's I mean, I don't know what this person's vote is for others, but like, you know, if it's I know I did this in some of my votes where it's like, oh, I put the same preference for 2 candidates, but then
in the next
different
race we
preference
see
for one of them. You know,
Yeah,
so it's
in
like,
the next race we see a 5 and a 9. So they didn't just vote straight 9s across the board.
right, exactly.
So there is a change in preference on that vote. So
Yeah.
you can score that one. It doesn't have to be necessarily the same number as long as their numbers are relative.
But in this, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me now. That's something that I didn't get at the beginning.
Yeah, it's not just 1, 2, 3. It's relative scoring. Yeah. Okay, but this one is a pretty easy to call. Secretary called for Michael.
Hey, congratulations, Michael. You here?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Why, thank you.
Okay. Cool.
And this one, oh no, those aren't.
This
is
uncontested.
Votes. That is that's right. Those aren't the same votes because that's another position.
Joe, you're the treasurer. Congrats.
All right, give me a second to announce this stuff. Jeez.
Nope, it's all. Yeah, that one.
I mean, I think the vice chair have the most.
Vice chair had the most candidates.
Had the most candidates. I mean
that,
and we had. I think we had a nice participation there.
I wonder who's gonna win treasurer. I can't.
Yeah, it's gonna be a close one.
Can we give me a rundown on how to spell Michael's last name for the Twitter?
It's right
here. Hold on. Yeah, CAD.
Yep.
WA. LLA. DER.
DER. Okay.
You said DER, right? That's what you heard. Okay, cool.
And then
Perfect.
if we take, well, here, let me count them up just for shits and giggles, as it were. But this is auditor. And actually, look at that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right. I'm pretty sure Eric wins this regardless. 1,
yeah, that's pretty.
2, 3.
That one's pretty clear too.
4.
Oh shoot! Did I do this wrong?
5.
Oh no, I don't know how to do threads on Twitter. Hold on. Let me.
Take your time. I'll stop counting.
Okay.
I will stop. You know what?
Wait.
I'll stop the count.
No, I think you're doing it correctly.
I'll stop the count.
No, you just deleted it. Never mind.
Wait, hold on. Let me election results.
I'll stop the count. It's fine. The count has been stopped. I've stopped the count.
I see it now. Deleted tweet about me.
No. Did that? Hold on.
And just for the record, I want to put it on there
that
I think Twitter is a terrible platform.
Oh, it really is.
1000%.
I mean,
use Mastodon. Anyway.
No.
Okay, we're doing it right.
Yeah.
All right. Next, okay. Treasure.
Joseph Honorowski. you doing all right there, JJ? Are these coming too quick at you?
A little bit. It's hard to live tweet.
Do you need to contest the chair? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we'll go back to.
If you can't do simple Twitter threads,
Hey, the Twitter threads are confusing, and also, I mean, we're all going to be switching to Blue Sky anyway.
Are we?
Yes.
What is Blue Sky?
It's another Mastodon.
Yeah, well, it's specifically a Twitter competitor made by the Twitter old guard.
Well, then no, we're not.
Well, he's not a CEO though.
And also, then it's not another Mastodon unless it uses like the
basically another Twitter competitor.
Yeah. Then no. They're all going the way. They're all going the way of the dead.
Well,
they're all going the way of
supposedly
dead, so
Meta is also working on a Twitter competitor.
Yeah, well, because they want money.
Yes, Facebook bites. I love to see it.
The truth is that Facebook has such better tools, and their platform itself is way better. But the people that run the place suck. So, like, I mean, it's doubly bad for Twitter because not only is the platform terrible, but the people that run it suck. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
All right, this is Swarm Care.
All right, auditor called for. Hold on, I've almost got Eric's tweet.
Auditor, is Eric. I
is Eric.
Would not want to try and spell Eric's last name. Apologies, Eric, if you're on. I don't.
I can do it. I can do it.
How do we pronounce Eric's last name?
I think it's Orzekowicz.
Okay.
Or Zekowicz? Or Zekowick? Or Zeko? Or
Zekowicz.
It might be.
We've done so many horrible things to the Polish language and Polish Americans. Yeah, it's probably something nothing.
Oh wait, no, I didn't even realize that was a Polish name. Is that C supposed to have like a?
It's got a CZ. It's.
I'm 50% Polish, so.
Are you the qualified expert here?
I might be the most qualified person here.
Hold on. O.
I know V is. I know W is V. Like W makes a V.
Okay, I'm almost there. I just need to look at it one more time.
Okay.
Zekovich.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm not expecting it to be pronounced.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think C.
Zekovich. Yeah, that could play.
I think CZ is.
Let's see.
What is that? But it could. I don't know if it's just spelled that way because it was typed on an American keyboard. But if the Z has a hook on it, that would make it.
I mean, I did type it.
Okay,
well, no, I didn't type. I don't know.
We are caught up with tweets.
Okay, congrats. I'm proud of you. Okay, I'm gonna do my analysis on here again. I'm pretty sure I have some guesses as to who got this one, but I don't know. I think it's still useful actually. Okay, so A over B. A over B.
No,
all right.
What I think's gonna happen.
Mitch might. I don't know.
2.
How many does Mitch have there?
3. We'll see. 4.
I think Mitch might have drifted
6,
too close to the sun.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll see. 13, 14. We got A over B is 14. We got. We'll see. We'll see.
Stolen.
No, definitely welcome. Right? Okay. Oh, this is C. I should get my letters right. Okay. A over
Mitch,
C.
Time to start your Trump art.
A
Sorry.
Oh my God. Okay. A over C. Right.
Insurrection.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's pretty strong. Okay, B over A. It's gonna be. It's gonna be pretty close. I think it's gonna be pretty close. Okay. Okay. B over A. B over A. Okay.
That was 1.
1.
And then 2.
2.
Wait, hang on. Yari, I'm at 3 here.
Okay.
The third line is a.
Oh, you're so right. I missed that one. Okay. 1.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We got 6 for B over A. Okay, and this is B over C. B over C. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. B over C is 8. C over A. Okay. C over A. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. B over A is 11. Or sorry, C over A is 11. Okay. C over B. Yeah, this is going to be close, actually.
Oh
Wow.
boy! Oh no!
C over B. Okay. This is really interesting.
What
I
have
love
you
when
done,
this shit
Mitch?
happens with voting. Okay. This is really cool.
You pumped Rowan up, and now he might overtake you.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. C over B. I mean, Mitch is gonna. No matter what happens here, we know Mitch is gonna. Both Mitch and Rowan are gonna stick, and Matthew, of course, are gonna stick around. All three are gonna be sticking around and helping out and volunteering and doing a bunch of work. I have no doubt about that. Okay. C over B. Okay.
I've been asked that someone reads this. It is time for the student to lead the master.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Here we go. We get our analyses. Okay. So pairwise, B over A compared to A over B. A over B wins.
Oh no!
Oh no!
C over A compared to A over C.
Oh.
A over C wins.
Wait.
C over B. Oh, wait, sorry, my bad. I just did that wrong. Whoops.
I was about to say.
No, I'm so glad I have you all here to go. What?
I was about to say.
Yeah. C over B. C over B compared to B over C. C over B wins. Okay. Yeah.
Whoa.
Is this a tie?
No.
No.
No. Wait.
Why would it be
Wait
a tie?
a second.
Wait.
No, it's Rowan.
It's Rowan.
Why would it have
By a
been a
margin.
tie?
By a very small
Why did you
margin.
get a tie?
Yeah. Yeah, because look, C in competition with both A and B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yep. That's Swarm Care called
Oof.
for Rowan.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Mitch.
That'll give him some extra time to do.
Now he
There we
can,
go.
now he can come back next year and
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's getting kicked out of the party or anything.
I'm gonna save all
make it a
this.
position for Mitch.
Okay, I'm gonna save this file. I'm going to delete the personal details from it. What Mitch say?
I have to change my Twitter handle. Fuck.
Just do it with a shot of Henry Cavill as the Witcher. He says "fuck the best."
All right, tweet going up.
No,
Rowan
you should
Tipping.
do change it to X Swarm Care Manager.
Rowan
Sorry,
Tipping,
too soon.
Swarm Care Manager of the Illinois Pirate Party, defeats incumbent Mitch DeVillo in an unexpected upset.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like how throughout the entire thing as well, Rowan was like, "No, don't vote for me. Vote for Mitch over me." It's like,
Honestly, I'm surprised.
yeah.
That's
when I didn't.
Wow.
Well, I was expecting it to
Wow.
be close, but I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a round of applause.
Wow.
Yay.
Wow.
Hey, radical
Wow.
democracy worked. right?
Radical
That's the idea.
democracy. What a
That's the idea. It's supposed to surprise you.
wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Sweating.
Wow.
I wasn't even involved in the close races, and I'm sweating.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and delete the personal data from the spreadsheet, and then the rest of it will be shared with everyone.
But you do have the information elsewhere, I
Yes.
assume. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to delete all that good juicy contact info.
Well, I will be deleting that good juicy contact info because anyone who's selected not to sign up to volunteer, their contact info will be deleted.
Oh, is that what we set it up as?
That's
I
what
thought
I'm
volunteer.
doing.
I thought volunteering
Until
meant, like,
until Michael is elected in as officially as the secretary, I still have secretary purview, and that's what I'm deciding to do.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. This is wacky.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Frank. Apparently, at some point, Frank Flores put in the chat, "Damn it! I just woke up and was about to vote."
Aww.
It's okay. Well, all of this will be so much better organized next year. Now we have a system that we know works. Hopefully, I never want us to have a year after this point where we don't do direct democracy for these officer elections.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I need to go get ready and prepare for the actual meeting that we're about to have. All of you can stay put for that meeting. We have officers to swear in. If I think there are a few that aren't in the call. If some of you could help me wrangle those people in, I'd really appreciate it. But I have to go take a break because I've been here for the past 2 hours.
Yes, please take care of yourself.
All right.
Just real quick, when are you looking to start? Yeah.
The official meeting technically starts in 7 minutes, but we can delay a bit.
Yeah, I need to run to the restroom.
Please,
we can delay.
Go.
Cool.
AJ, bye. Leave.
All right. Yes.
AJ, leave.
I'm muting, but yes.
Okay. Reactions, thoughts, Mitch. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I changed my Twitter handle. I did. Congratulations to Rowan, who has my full endorsement.
Oh yeah.
I'm very proud that he has been elected Swarm Care Manager. He was the Swarm Care Sentinel of the Illinois Pirate Party, as he requested the name get changed from Swarm Care Manager to Swarm Care Sentinel. Whether he does that at the national level or requests it remains to be seen. But I'm very happy that he is the successor. He's going to do great. And, Chicagoland is free. I now have full reign to concentrate my efforts at the local level.
See, now we're going to expect a lot more out of Chicagoland.
As you should. You struck me down and I've become more powerful.
There you go.
That was close, honestly. Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of still reeling from that. Oh, yeah, Wanda can join. You can send I think you just send the link. You just send the link, V, to send to invite. But DM it, please. Who do we need to invite still for officers? We need anyone who's. We need
Joe, don't we?
Yeah, we need
Joe and Eric, because I don't see Eric on here either.
Yeah, ideally, and then we have an Illinois rep. We have a Pennsylvania. We have enough people. Okay, just making sure. would be nice to have
And
Joe. So that
and
we also
Rowan
have-
too, right? 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't see Rowan either.
Yeah. Mitch, can you ping Rowan?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll ping Joe.
He's probably going to be beside himself. I don't think he expected that.
I don't think he did either. I'll be honest, V, I'm a little bit surprised you didn't get anything.
I'm not. I had a plan all this time to abdicate anyway.
What? Wild.
Democracy at its finest.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, it is on. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I came here just in time to see that upset.
Yeah. That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did my part.
Yeah.
That's all right. Next year it'll be Return of the King, and then Mitch will just take the chair.
Mitchell sweep all the positions.
Oh,
I hope we make that not allowed in the bylaws.
I was just kidding.
Understood. I do hope we make that not allowed in bylaws, though. Okay, so message Joe.
Yeah, that for sure does sound like something y'all should work on.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things. I should just text. Okay. Well, I mean, I think to anyone watching, by the way, it feels like we're in a bit of a break time. So take a second. It's a break. Obviously, get some snacks, get a drink of water, take care of your body. We'll be back in a bit. There might be a little bit of banter, but you're not going to miss anything. We'll be back in a bit for the actual meeting wherein we will have the fancy schmancy swearing in. It's not going to be very fancy, but it's going to be nice. That's it.
Rowan said he'll be here in just a moment.
Hello, friends.
Hello, Governor.
Rowan looks surprised.
I am a tad surprised. I just finished dinner, so I got the text and I was like, I got to answer. I was a bit surprised. The results came back so fast, but so I won.
You did.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you all. Oh, wow. That's a lot to take in. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for everyone who entrusts me and believes in me. You know, wow. That's all I can say. Thank you.
This might be the most Pirates we've had a U.S. Pirates meeting in like at least 3, 4, 5 years.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Video meeting at least.
Yeah, we do get more. There is more participation in the text meetings.
Yeah.
But
especially knowing that there's going to be possibly a couple more joining.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for our 50 state, 50 reps Jitsi call.
At that point,
Rowan,
that's going to be.
You'll be able to do that. Sorry.
I've seen the European Pirate Party meetings. I'm not looking forward to that in the slightest.
We'll find a way.
It's a good problem to have, though.
It's a good problem to have, and also I think Mitch's point is well made, which is we will need to find a way to address that as we get closer to that. We'll figure it out. It is a good problem to have. I think vote sharing was an option brought up in the past, which appeals to me personally, but there's plenty of ways to work with it.
I missed what the results were.
Let me read them out to you real quick.
Sure.
We got you are treasurer. AJ is chair was called for AJ. Vice chair was called for Drew. Secretary called for Michael. Treasurer called for you. Auditor called for Eric. Swarm care called for Rowan. Would you like any clarification on that?
No, I didn't even vote, so
okay.
I totally missed it. So I have failed my democratic duty.
It was a shorter voting window that I wouldn't have liked.
Then again, it's one of those deals where I'm not upset about any of those posts.
Oh yeah. And I think the thing is, at the end of the day, we're gonna have a lot of people helping out, no matter what.
Quick question. Did I hear, Mitch, you're going to be doing the International Pirates? Buddy, hell?
Yeah, Joe, if you would like me to take that off your hands, I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, I would be lying to say I'm frustrated with that whole community.
Do we need to make that formal once we go into our actual meeting? Do we have to vote on that? Or does it need to be a motion?
It is of gosh,
I remember talking about it with Joe when he took it, but I don't know if we need to.
It's what it is.
Can I just say the last international meeting I attended, I went to both windows and there was no one there. I have contacted the vice chair and they never got back. Like literally interrupted a dinner meeting and they never got back to me. Like, just, to say I'm frustrated with that whole community, it would be putting it nicely. I have a lot more confidence in our own ability.
Yeah.
And our own organizational prowess, and the fact that the bickering and the fighting is a lot less.
Yeah.
To be perfectly frank, I love you guys. They have yet to win my love.
Well, I hope that can change, but I'm appreciate the work that you've done with them and for us on that front. That's been really useful. Yeah, I know, right? Mitch isn't driving. Wild.
Hey everyone, I'm back. I noticed that.
Yeah, Mitch, if you want to take that over and. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. I know that we're. I mean, it's upsetting that I kind of feel like I know what we're talking about, but it's all right. Let's see. No, I'm just making sure we have. I believe we have with you, Joe. We have representatives from almost everywhere except Indiana, and then we need some of our new board members.
We don't technically, to be clear. The officers, again, as soon as people accepted candidacy, they accepted the possibility that they would be elected.
Yes, we don't need to confirm anything, but we'd like to have them here.
I would like to have them here. I contacted Eric. I messaged Eric and haven't received anything back.
He's the only one we're missing, right? Is that correct?
Is Rowan here?
Yeah, Rowan's here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right, just making sure.
And he's giddy as a schoolgirl.
Yeah, because he just beat. He just beat out.
He's very excited. That's awesome. I mean,
I was chowing down on lo mein and I get a text like, "Oh, by the way," or like something like that. And I was like, "What the hell?" And I ran from the commons, the cafeteria of my school, straight back to my room like a giddy schoolgirl. And now I'm here. I took down my flags. I'm leaving the storm soon, so my room looks a bit more empty. But yeah, I'm here.
No, it's good to be excited about getting into something new there. Getting into a new position is good. It's good. And Mitch is already making promises about Chicagoland, so
he is.
We're all good. It's all good.
Wait, where are the results, by the way? Because are all the results decided?
Yes.
All of the results are decided.
And the Wikipedia, our Wikipedia page has been updated.
Thank you.
Who did you update it, Mitch?
Yeah.
Amazing. Are you the one who's always on top of that? Because I so appreciate that.
I tend to be, yes. Thank
Amazing.
You.
Love it. Okay. Here, hang on. Let me just go ahead and let me just go ahead and
also Eric's name is absolutely Orzekowicz. Or Zekowitz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
From my experience knowing how Polish Hoosiers pronounce their names, which could be different from the way people who of Polish American background have bastardized their names in other places. My bet's on Orzekowicz.
Chicago famously had more Polish people than Warsaw at one point, so we're pretty good at
That's true.
The Slavic names.
Be careful with the whole Polish thing. My last name being Honorowski.
Fair enough.
And while Pennsylvania does have a very large German population, we also have a good chunk of Eastern Europe too. So none of those names are completely foreign to me either. But
do you think we'll ever
people
see
do.
an Amish branch of the Pennsylvania Pirate Party?
Probably not. That's unless they decide to become like
Amish
maybe
pirate.
Amish pirates. That might not be you never know though. I mean, there's supposedly an Amish mafia.
They say because of birth patterns, the Amish are going to be the majority in this country by the 2100s. If birth patterns continue, I should say.
Speaking of Eastern European names, I had a agriculture teacher named Szakowski. Said it was Polish.
Yeah,
Most skis.
I had a. What was I gonna say? I was gonna go on an anecdote about my archaeology professor from 2 years ago. That would not be a good use of our time.
No, because I think we regret. I mean, I love the anecdotes. Don't get me wrong, but also, I would love if we could do the meeting thing, do the official thing.
Do the thing.
All right. I mean, we have almost everybody. I think. Well, Michael said that he would be back at 9:15.
Yeah, it should be any minute now.
He's having some issues, some technical difficulties with systems that are not related to technology, and then we'll see if we can get Eric on here. I messaged him again just to make sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, what else do we want to talk about in the meantime?
Well, what's your next steps, fearless leader?
Well, I mean, my next steps, as in right now, is I want to hear from everyone as to what they want our next steps to be, and then maybe I'll talk about some of my plans. But we can't do that until we get into the meeting. But yes, let's see, what was it? Oh, agenda. Yeah. I mean, I'd ask Yari for an agenda, but I mean, from now on, we're gonna be asking Michael. I figured we would.
And also, to be quite honest, no. No.
Fair enough.
I mean, no. I mean, I should be on top of these things. I'm not.
It's all right. You're free.
Well, I'm gonna help out.
Let's see.
Obviously.
So, are you still doing the
Hand
IT?
is lifted. You have
Yo,
your
yeah.
freedom.
So there you go.
Yeah.
You're still an officer.
Well, no.
You want to take over a platform while you're at it?
No.
You sure?
No. I mean, yes, I'm sure. I'm not.
Hey, Mitch, you have more time to spend on a platform.
No,
now.
let's just we don't have to pass them off between the people who are already getting burnt out. We can just like let other people take it on.
I just want to say, AJ, I didn't give up platform because of my swarm care commitments. I gave up platform because of my career commitments. So I unfortunately cannot take over any of the committees as they are currently laid out. But I will be happy to serve on the international stage. And I will be real happy to build up Chicagoland. Here's to a free Chicagoland, a liberated Chicagoland. I feel liberated. I can't wait to have aldermanic candidates. And frankly, I think, my involvement in the United States Pirate Party isn't any less. My involvement in the United States Pirate Party has only begun. Much like Jamie O'Keefe, I think I'm going to be more powerful at the local level.
Hell yeah. I mean, y'all think just because I'm not,
Yes.
y'all think just because I wasn't going to be an officer this year, because I refused to accept
You're
a
all right. We're at another
nomination, that I'm leaving or some shit? No. No, yeah, same Mitch. My power is only growing. Something like that, but like, nicer and more democratic.
Joe, I don't know if we've actually started a meeting. You can go ahead.
But I'd rather wait because as far as the international thing goes, I'm still going to make an appearance because I'm still supposed to be representing Massachusetts to them. They showed interest in Massachusetts being a representative there, but again, I'm just not impressed with the international community. And so I'm still going to be there, so I will be happy to be an alt, or happy to go there with absolutely zero authority and just be an angry bee.
Yeah, as long as I just am aware of the information or when I need to be there, I'll be happy to. I don't think my work schedule may interfere at times, but if it doesn't, I'll be happy to show up. Otherwise, I'm not. I myself, I don't know who's watching this, and I'm sure they'll catch this, but I myself find PPI to be more of a European affair, unfortunately. But that's just because that's where most of the pirate parties are. Uh, Joe, I think your analysis of we're a little more put together than the Europeans is correct. So I think I might suggest looking more toward not new Pirate Party International. I'm not suggesting that. I am not suggesting a new Pirate Party International. That's not what I'm saying. Especially because we just joined PPI. But no, Rowan, you're actually pretty right on key with where I was going with that.
Yeah,
I think
I
that
concur.
Brazil and Chile are both in Pirate Party International already with them. And I just think with the Europeans squandering or squabbling over nothing, as international members on the Western Hemisphere, and that includes Australia, we probably should be collaborating a little bit more because our politics are going to be a little more intertwined than European politics and U.S. politics. So,
well,
I'm
another
going.
side note, if I can just retort to that real quick, another side note is that we kicked them out of here and we kicked Europe's butt across the sea, and I don't want them to be our kings again. So I'm not about to be subservient to literally anyone, especially seeing that if they can't even get themselves together to agree on a simple thing, or what happened to funds that they sent to Ukraine, I don't want, and they want us to come over there to fix their problems when we need to be fixing our own problems. All set with that. So that being said, I guess I'm still on the court of arbiters over there. So we'll see how that pans out. But again, with me being unable to even formalize an investigation to find out what happened to missing funds, or contact literally anybody over there, or have them respond to me in any amount of dignity, time, or response, I will. I literally look at it as the PPI EU board dictating everything happening in PPI. So there is a bit of that. So, don't get me wrong. There are some people over there that are genuine, like the Australian boys, and party amazing. Love them. And the American, those coming representing different American, like Chile, Venezuela, even the people in Russia, and what they're going through and how they're fighting. Absolutely love a law what they're doing. But again, the bickering, the squabbling, the infighting, it's awful.
Well, Europe is going through a lot of similar battles that we are here at home. Very much a resurgent right wing in Europe right now. And as far as I'm concerned, the Pirates should probably be lining up against fighting fascism in Europe. But we're not on that ship. And, that's their problem, not ours. So.
I would like to have a word about the Pirate Parties of America sort of thing, where we're going to have to be very careful to not to make it just seem like another repeat of the Organization of American States, where it's pretty much just an American puppet organization to force everyone else to do whatever the United States wants it to do. Because historically speaking,
I'm worried my internet is not.
I'm sorry,
for
just
screwing over everyone in the alliance. So if we want to make that sort of thing, we must make it. We are not the leader. We are a partner.
I am in full agreement, and that has actually been a concern that was brought up by the Pirate Party of Argentina. And it's a concern that I'm in full agreement with. I said that if there was going to be partnership, it would need to be just that. It's partnership. It's collaboration. The United States, again, that is where I truly am like there with them. That the United States calls ourselves America when America is the continent and everyone on the continent is an American. I am not going to. That is very symbolic of how the United States views itself on this continent, and I don't want to continue.
Well, it's not just a continent; it's the whole hemisphere.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, half of the globe, where is America. So, yeah, there's a lot that can be different, and we don't need to be dictating to anybody. I don't think we should either. Yeah, collaboration and assistance where it is appropriate. Yeah, that's awesome. But everybody sails their own ship.
One thing we might want to look at for trying to make ourselves more palatable to our American allies here is to, and maybe this is just me being a bit more radical, but I would say trying to maybe put on our foreign policy platform as ending the Cuban embargo, because that is a huge stain on American policy that makes the rest of the Americas distrust us, because it shows that if the rest of America doesn't toe the line with us, we will crush them. Or not in a.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do think when we added Pan-Americanism and when we added the foreign policy, ending the Cuban embargo and lifting the sanctions on Venezuela and Nicaragua were specified. Do you have the perfect? So yes, we do have in the United States Pirate Party platform ending the Cuban embargo, which I mean, again, to your point, that's something we could immediately do if the Pirate Party gains power to move towards rectifying relations in the Americas. So that no, we cannot. So that is just that I agree. When I was on a podcast not too long ago promoting the Pirate Party, and they asked me what are 3 things I would do, and one of them I said was end the Cuban embargo. So if I was president, the 3 things I'd do if I was president, that was one of the things I said. So and then Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the other 2?
What was it? It was closed Gitmo.
You going for a Cuban trifecta or what?
Well, I think I combined end the embargo and close Gitmo.
Okay.
And I think I said I would abolish the NSA. But they said all 3-letter agencies, all 3-letter. I'm like, fine, all 3-letter agencies.
I mean, so, I entirely agree with them.
I'd want to go a little bit farther because I think one of the worst ones outside of the CIA and NSA is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
We can hear.
So and explosives. I'm sorry, that's 5 letters, but they need a special kicking in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, their only job should be to investigate people that are actually running weapons illegally. Like,
they're gonna investigate themselves.
Everybody that was involved in that
investigating
operation should be. Oh yeah, the CIA the CIA needs to go.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt this lively and
Can you
wonderful
all hear
discussion
me?
to say yes, we can hear you, AJ. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Wonderful. Can we?
Yeah, I've been. Sorry. Yes, I've been trying to get a move on with the meeting for
No, I know.
20 minutes now.
Yeah, I get
But I've been not hearable. So let me go ahead and turn on my camera.
That might not go well. We'll see.
We'll see.
Before we get started, can I just say Happy Killdozer Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, these are problems that can be fixed with a bulldozer covered in concrete.
Probably not. Sometimes it's worth a shot. All right. Calling to order. Finally, actually, calling to order this meeting of the United States Pirate Party at 9:37 Eastern Daylight Time. I am the chair, the incumbent, re-elected chair.
Oh, it's 9:27.
You have your finger up. Oh, it's. I thought I said. Oh, did I say 9:37?
It's whatever. Sorry, hate to ruin your moment.
It's 7. Yes, the incumbent re-elected chair, Anthony J. AJ, or how are you saying? I am back for another term. Thank you for having me. Show. We have the audience full attending agency today. I am going to the first person I see, the first person I see. For introductions.
Oh, rip. I'm gonna guess that maybe I don't know. I think we all have ourselves, but I think you're clipping out a bit.
Non-optimal, poor.
Yeah.
Not great.
Anyway, we're doing IDs. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself, and then I'll popcorn to someone else. Hi, I'm Yari, also known as Rose Klein. I am the California rep and current secretary of the U.S. Pirates, about to not be that second one. Drew, go for it.
Okay, I am Drew Bingaman. I am the captain of the Pennsylvania Pirate Party and soon to be the vice chair of the U.S. Pirate Party. And when I say soon to be, like Yari said, soon to be X. That means our elections are over, and we have the results. So,
am I better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Drew, go ahead and
I'm good. We're good. Who's next?
Okay, next. I mean, everyone got shuffled for me, but next is our observer from Florida. Wanda, would you like to give your name and state?
Hello, I'm Wanda, observing from Florida.
All right. Next up is our Indiana representative, Jester.
Hello, I am everyone's favorite unelected representative with zero accountability, Ashley Melody from Indiana. Hopefully this year we will have enough Indiana people to actually do an election for my position.
All good points all around. Next up is Rowan.
I'm Rowan. I am the Swarm Care Sentinel of the Illinois Pirate Party, but I'm soon to be the Swarm Care Manager of the United States Pirate Party, which, wow. And thank you all. So, yeah.
All right. Next up is Mitch.
Mitch DeVillo of the Chicagoland chapter, the Illinois chapter. Well, actually, Rowan is now the voting member of Illinois, or can be. I can be as well. Doesn't matter who attends the meetings. But I am Mitch DeVille of the Chicagoland Pirate Party. Current Swarm Care Manager, but in a few minutes I'll be liberated.
All right. Next up is a observer from, I guess, what we're calling the DMV organizing Swarm of the Pirates. Dustin, would you like to give yourself an introduction if you're still here and participating?
Yeah. I'm Dustin. I'm with the DMV, which is the area around DC, including parts of Maryland and Virginia. DMV is short for. Yeah, just observing. Thank you.
All right, next up is Joe.
I am the incumbent treasurer, and it seems I will be the treasurer for one more year. And I am also of Massachusetts, proud, born and raised, and I am the backup representative for Massachusetts.
All right, thank you, Joe. Next is Michael. If you're with us. You might not be with us yet. That is okay.
I just want to thank Dustin for clarifying what DMV means, because as we were talking earlier about hated 3-letter agencies, we no longer have to lynch Dustin. So that's cool.
It's okay. Look, I'm in the clear because in Indiana, it's the BMV. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Pennsylvania. It's not. It's not officially a DMV. It's a DOT.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Department of Transportation, but yeah, we still hate them.
Drew almost saw red there.
Almost, yeah. I was getting ready to throw down with poor Dustin, but now I don't have to.
All right, so I think how we're going to do this is we're going to have sort of one final meeting with the existing officers, and then at some point, and just for report's sake, and then at some point, we're going to ask the voting members if they accept the results of the new election, and who do we lose? Did we lose anyone necessary for the functioning of the meeting, or did we lose an observer? Oh.
It was Joe, but Joe's back.
I don't even know who we lost, but it's okay, they're back. Anyway, and then we're going to hold a vote. I don't even know if this is necessary in our bylaws, but we'll do it. Hold a vote asking all of the officers if they accept the results of the election. Mitch, I better not hear anything shady from Illinois. And then we'll go from there. So we're going to do some basic reports for the last time around. Secretary, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, we had an election. I am going to. I just saved a copy of the final election thing results, minus all the personal data, and I'm going to post that to the Discord and probably also to the website and the wiki. Just as a final thing, website, I'll work with someone, I imagine, to make a blog post and just be like, oh, hey, here was the election, here were the results. Can probably tie in some pictures or whatever of the Twitter thread. I don't know. Most of my energy has been focused on the election and stuff. I think it went well. On the back end, I think in the future it would be nice working with IT to have that be a bit of a smoother process in terms of math. but the implementation of that in the short of time that we had would have been difficult, and I knew that we didn't have too many people voting in it to make it too bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think what am I trying to say? I don't know. I think I'm just blabbing at this point. Anything else to report, Secretary? There are a number of things I need to do to help Michael as we transition roles. I will be doing that. That's it. Nothing else to report.
Okay, thank you, Yari. Swarm Care, do you have anything to report? This is still Mitch.
Other than the fact that this meeting is being attended by a recent record number of pirates, as Yari pointed out earlier, I would say no. There is nothing to report for Swarm Care. I did. I threw $100 towards the U.S. Pirate Party Bank. I guess that's my own personal report.
All right, thank you, Mitch. Do we have anything new to report for Treasurer?
We do. We are currently up to $485.98, and plus another about $11 from Jamie for some web stuff, for some in-kind stuff that we did on the back end. And that being said, I still need to jump in and log that stuff in, but I have 30 days to it, so it's not late yet.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Michael did get here, so Michael, would you like to introduce yourself, name, state?
You are muted, sir.
I am muted on Jitsi, but not on my headset. I keep forgetting that there are two buttons. My name is Michael. I was just recently elected as secretary or scribe for the Pirate Party. I am from New Jersey. And is there any other information that recommended sharing? I look forward to the next year to come as secretary, and I look forward to bringing my skills to one step closer towards doing some good for this country, hopefully. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Do we have any committee reports from current committee chairs? Going once?
I would have to say
yes?
nothing for platform, but I am planning on hosting a platform committee tomorrow on some of the older documents and stuff, really just writing out our core values. It will be more of a workshop tomorrow than an actual active meeting, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Getting some of the older core stuff done. Thank you.
I'm assuming nothing from outreach or IT.
IT report.
Yes.
Really brief.
IT.
Which is just to say, we've gotten some extra volunteers recently. Really excited about that. Hoping to continue adding to that volunteer base, and then also the forms and stuff that were used for the whole nominations and voting process this time are still on the back end. So even though the data will be deleted automatically, those forms will still be able to be used for next year. So.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. If there are no other committee reports, well, I guess what I do is I ask any further discussion or debate on any of the reports. Going once, going twice. All right, I will assume that we do not have any further discussion or debate on those, which means we have one item of business to start with, and that is I'm going to ask all of the current state representatives if they, accept the results of the election run by Yari. To be clear, the results were live streamed by Yari, how they counted it, their methodology. It was all done very transparently. And if we go to this election announcement live thread, I will recount the results. I was reelected to chair. Drew Bingaman was elected to a vice chair. Michael was elected to secretary. Joe was reelected to treasurer. Eric was elected to auditor. And Rowan, in a historic upset, what I'm going to be calling it from now on, was elected to Swarm Care. So I am going to start with Pennsylvania. Do you accept the results of the election?
No objections.
All right. Massachusetts.
AJ?
Yes?
Point of order.
Yes.
There was no motion.
Do we need one?
Yeah, I move we accept the results of the election as posted.
I will second that.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm going to be a stickler for it until we change the rules on that.
Fair enough. I don't think anyone even suggested we do it anyway, so I was just going.
Yeah.
The way. Okay. Yes, that's.
Massachusetts. Aye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then are we gonna have discussion or debate, or if we're gonna be formal, discussion or debate?
Yari, we're pirates. Since when do we ever follow the rules to a T?
Well, we follow our own rules because we make them and we can change them. Anyway, no, I think no discussion or debate for me.
Well,
I'm going to steal a line from Barbarossa, or the rules are more like guidelines.
Yeah, I know, but those were rules imposed. We can change the rules, so that's why we follow them. That's what I'm saying. It makes a difference whether okay. We're not arguing this right now. No discussion or debate. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion or debate, or are we just going to call the question?
Just something to bring up. How set are we on the Scholes method for future elections?
It is direct response to that. It's in the bylaws, so it can be changed, as with any of the bylaws.
Yeah.
Of
course.
Do you have a something that you're like Scholes method bad?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I just don't know enough about the Scholes method, or maybe I just prefer. Maybe I'm just like a stickler for like ranked choice voting and just the basic idea.
It is a version of that.
It is a version of that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to open my mind to more methods of voting. Which
I think ranked choice voting is more of a general term, is it not?
That's
ranked choice. Yeah. Scholes method is a subset of ranked choice.
Oh yeah.
Cool. AJ, here's a trick for you to use.
Yes.
Ask for no objections, or ask if there's any objections, and then we can be done with this.
All right. Are there any objections?
No objection.
I put on these sunglasses because V mentioned the other day that we all better buy a pair of sunglasses because no matter what happens, we are going to have a very busy summer and we are going to be out in the heat. So if you all have your sunglasses, please remember where they are. We're going to need them this summer.
Mine were in my car.
Mine were in my car yesterday, or else I would have put them on around the time they said the gag.
I don't own any.
All right. If there are no, then you better buy a pair. Hearing no objections. Oh, do we have an objection?
Not an objection, just a question about glasses regulation.
Yes.
Are there any guidelines about the type of sunglasses we are supposed to wear?
They should be the type that Elton John would wear on stage. Definitely.
And Massachusetts would like to call the question.
Yeah,
okay.
Call the question.
We're calling the question. Back to square one. Pennsylvania, do you accept the results of the election?
Aye, no objection.
Massachusetts, do you accept the results of the election?
Aye.
Illinois, do you accept the results of the election?
Aye.
All right. California, do you accept the results of the election?
Aye.
And Indiana, do you accept the results of the election?
Aye.
All right, congratulations, everybody. The new board has been certified.
Yay.
All right. I think what I want to do next is I want to give everybody the opportunity to, and I'm sure we've done little things like this in the past hour already, but I want to give everybody a chance to do a little bit of an acceptance speech, talk about their goals for the year. I'm going to do this in the reverse order. So I believe the first officer I have on my screen, if I follow that order, is Michael. Would you like to give a little acceptance speech?
Oh, sure. Maybe I should have had this planned out for the future. I thank you for voting me as your next secretary for the next year. I look forward to being able to bring my secretary goodness to this party and I look forward to hopefully streamlining the minutes and how those are processed and posted. And I look forward to just having a good time. And thank you.
All right, thank you, Michael. Next up is Rowan.
Wow, that's the first thing I gotta say. Just wow, WOW. So thank you. Yeah, thank you. The thing I want to do first of all, because like I think AJ you just mentioned it's gonna be a hot summer. Hopefully that means in some places it'll be good, some good weather, and others it won't be as great. Did someone just say World of Warcraft? Okay, but in relations to outdoor stuff, maybe working depending on what states want to do what, trying to help people do tabling events in their respective states. That sounds really exciting, especially since hopefully in the summer more people have free time, and getting that organized, figuring out how to make that possible for state parties seems like a really fun thing to start off with. So that's where I really want to go to next now that this is finalized. And yeah, so that's where you'll see my efforts going into, mainly trying to communicate with leaders of different state parties and helping them figure out if they want to do tabling events and how.
All right, thank you, Rowan. Mitch, you are a defeated incumbent. What would you like to say about your future and the roles that you are hopefully looking to take up now?
I really, first of all, I want to say congratulations to the ideal successor, Rowan. That is the position being handed off into good hands. So the fact that you're already talking about tabling with fellow state party leaders, that is a fantastic sign and a fantastic step in the right direction. So I think the swarm care position is going to, as it stays in Chicagoland hands, it is going to remain a very strong position moving forward. In terms of what I plan on doing, you will see a stronger Chicagoland, a more concentrated effort. Now that I can actually take the time out to, and any work that I do with the Pirate Party can be dedicated to the Chicagoland Pirate Party work. And that's not to say I'll be removed from the U.S. Pirate Party, but my responsibilities can be dedicated towards local level change. And if that means aldermanic candidates, which it does, if that means getting local village boards having pirates, which it does, it is a process and it's going to be a slow process, but I plan on chipping away at that. And over the next year, I hope to see a expanded Chicagoland Pirate Party and as well as an expanded Illinois Pirate Party.
All right, thank you, Mitch. Joe, you were the incumbent treasurer and you have won another term. What are you looking to do this year?
So I was saving this little bombshell for y'all. I recently acquired a beat up old RV trailer, and so I am going to see which one of you wants to take it, help me rip it apart, and then make a pirate trailer so that we can be proper road pirates, and so that when one of us is traveling around going to different states, we automatically have a spot for them to camp out in.
That's commitment. That's commitment.
Okay. So, and so I'm already making plans to give us a way to travel the country and make sure that we have a roof over our heads and ability to make meals and do our piratey business and allow us to completely cover it in all things pirate and make a giant billboard for us going across country. It will literally be the road pirate trailer. And so that being said, easily pulled with a U-Haul or any other small truck device. Yeah, that's a thing. The other thing that I'm looking to do is I committed that if I'm going to be reelected, I would have more time. So Massachusetts meetings have been now designated to be every other Thursday. So I'm going to have every Thursday to Pirate Business, as well as Sundays and Mondays. So every other Thursday, you'll see me on the Discord working on budgets, working on pirate stuff, and making sure that's done. So.
All right, thank you, Joe. Very exciting news about the pirate trailer. I cannot wait to see where that goes. Drew, you're the next person I see. Do you want to talk about vice chair?
I'm here to help. I mean, that's mostly what this role is to help you, AJ. Help basically anybody that needs help. I will try to do my best to either get them connected to who they need to be connected with, or help out with knowledge that I have myself. So yeah, I'm here to help.
All right, thank you, Drew. And since I gave Mitch time to speak, Yari, you willingly stepped down from secretary. What are you hoping to do now?
Yeah. Well, I want to make sure that Michael is well equipped. And so I'm definitely going to be working with Michael on that. They are not going to step into this unprepared. Moreover, I want to make sure that the many things that I've learned in this position and in the position of chair are documented. In the sort of hectic nature of being an officer, first chair and then secretary the past 2 years, I have not had much time to really get proper documentation on the things I've learned, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and so I would like to do that more. So I think those two things are my national priority, my national pirates priorities. That said, I'm really excited to have a little bit more time to build California properly. We've had some things starting and meetings here and there in the wings, but they are small and they're more like, oh, okay, a few people getting together here, a few people getting together there, but there's interest, and there's strong interest, and I've been getting people just messaging me like, California is a lot of people and California is a lot of people who are invested and interested in the well-being of of their political world, especially because a lot of the shit that we talk about is very salient here. And so I just get people messaging me, and it sucks that so often I have to be like, I don't have time to fully respond to you. Like, there's going to be a meeting sometime in the next 2 weeks. Like, I'm going to try and set it up. But if you can, I'm going to try and connect you with this person. But without active facilitation, that has sort of like a lot of it kind of peters out. So it'll be nice to be able to actively kind of facilitate that joining together a lot more and really make the California Pirate Party a force to be reckoned with.
All right, thank you, Yari. I've still got the sunglasses on because why not? I guess it's my turn. If you all can see me well, I guess it's my turn. Thank you all for electing me again for another term as chair. I'm happy to see a full board. That was a priority that Mitch had going into this. I think this is going to make our productivity even better, because if there is one thing that I think we've struggled with this year, it has been overall productivity. And I think that maybe we can, having the full board is going to help. Having board members that are different than state representatives is going to help. One more year. Thank you, Wanda. One more year. Um, I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to everything that I've been talking about over the past few weeks. I want to actually make concrete steps to fix productivity, including making some plans within the next few weeks. I want all of us to start making, I guess, what we could call a 3-month plan. What are our goals for the summer, so we can stick to them? I guess it's a little non-profity, but I mean that is kind of what we are in some respects. I also want us to have some kind of system for delegating tasks and making sure that delegation actually gets done. We've thrown around ideas like having a Kanban board or something like that. Very necessary. That needs to happen. I want a in-person 2024 convention. I think that is necessary. I think a lot of us finally need to get out of the house and meet each other, and that will help raise morale. I want all of these excellent things that I think we're going to be able to accomplish, and I think that I'm starting to feel really good about the board and the way that this is shaken up. I didn't vote on most of the board positions because I wanted to be hands off and I wanted to see what happened. I can work with this. I think we can rock and roll with this. I'm really excited to see where this takes us. What I will say is that for everybody that did not get a position, do not worry. Your dear captain has designs for you. We have Mitch. I would really appreciate maybe if you could possibly help Rowan as an assistant swarm care manager sometimes to help Rowan learn the role. Yari, I would suggest that maybe we could formalize you as that for Michael for a little bit. When it comes to V, you've been doing fantastic with outreach. I want to keep you there. Matthew Crowley, I think that if we do create that candidate director position, I think Matthew would be great in that role. So don't worry. And none of you are off the hook. I'm dragging all of you into these meetings because we have tasks to delegate. And this just means that we have people to delegate those tasks to, and maybe for the first time in probably this party's history, every single person who's around won't be wearing 5 different hats. That is my actual goal. These glasses are it's super dorky like this. I'm not doing that anymore.
I think it looks pretty good.
Really? Okay, I can keep them on.
Wear the glasses. Wear the shades.
All right. I'll wear them. Those are my designs. What are we going to do next? We're getting to time almost because we didn't have much on the schedule. But I mean, is there anything we want to accomplish tonight? What are we doing? No, I want people to shout it out. 3-month plan. What words come to mind? Go.
Networking.
Starting tabling.
Tabling, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Start
Networking, tabling. Let's keep going.
I need to collect signatures.
Signatures, collecting signatures, helping Pennsylvania because they have elections. Keep going.
Start.
Those were 5 words. Let's try to do that one by one.
Talking.
That's a good word. Come on.
Talking to members.
3 more words. Let's go.
Figuring out what to do.
Branding.
Wait.
Yes,
Figuring out what to do with the pirate trailer.
Pirate trailer. More words. I love it. Give me more words.
Hopefully forming a state party for New Jersey.
New Jersey. More words.
And Florida.
Let's keep going. And Florida. Let's keep going.
Chicagoland.
Reaching out to states that we are not in.
Yep. All good things.
Word
of
mouth.
Community.
Word of mouth. Community. Let's keep going.
Hey,
Pretzels.
AJ, you know that we had designs for a while back a security camera walk. Massachusetts did one of these, but a security camera walk as an initial event, and like a national wide initial event for many state parties, and that never happened.
That would make Jamie so happy.
It would make me so happy as well. I think
Jamie was still with the election results, by the way.
Whatever makes Jamie happy would make me happy. So if we're going into this, I think that'd be fantastic.
I think having an event like that, that we can build up to, that we already have, if we dig for it, I know we already have some of these foundational ideas, texts, and, sort of, I think even documents laid out for. Massachusetts has already done this, so they can even provide a little bit of guidance along the way. Hopefully we don't have to lean on them too much for this. But I think I'm just throwing this out here as a possibility, but building some sort of national event that ties groups together, as in, over the course of this week, all of these groups are going to have, the day might not be the same, but everyone on this week is going to have a security camera walk. And that's going to be this sort of initial pirate event for a lot of us. It might be a second or third for some of us, but it might be an initial pirate event for a lot of us, I imagine.
Yeah, we can definitely either use the security camera event or come up with something new. I mean, everything you're saying is, yeah, let's do it. Joe.
There's another thing Massachusetts does, which I hope you all shamelessly steal or copy pasta, which is networking and leveraging either public libraries or city halls in order to create public Wi-Fi access for those, making internet a human right for all American citizens. So one of the things that we do is we try and make it part of the Commonwealth where you can just get internet in all major cities. So that's a thing too. So, and very very popular here in Massachusetts. It's called MeshNet.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what you're talking about when you refer to mass mesh, right?
Yeah.
How hard is it or easy to put MeshNet stuff in an area where there isn't much of it yet?
It's literally, if you get somebody to let you piggyback off their internet, the equipment is a Raspberry Pi and like an $80 router.
Okay.
Definitely low. And if you connect it, what it basically does is set up an auxiliary internet, or kind of like what the internet was originally designed to be, which was people interconnected. So it's a phenomenal thing. It gives people internet access that would normally not have it, and if you do it right, it's completely anonymous.
Okay. Man, I have actually had my designs on doing more MeshNet stuff. I just didn't know how easy or hard it was because, wow, no, that's also really cool. Yeah, we can put a major. Actually, let's say maybe I can get a general commitment from everyone that at the end of our 3-month plan, or towards the end somewhere, we should be putting an event, and we start planning for it now. We're not saying what the event is yet. Can I just get a general, yeah, woo, for that idea?
Yeah, woo.
Yeah, woo,
Yeah,
come on,
woo.
come on,
Yeah,
come
woo.
on.
Yeah, woo.
Yeah,
woo.
Yay, woo. Yay.
All
Yeah.
right, we're committed
AJ,
to it. There's no going back now. Yes.
don't go demagogue on me.
I'm not going demagogue
Take
on
the
you.
glasses off. Take the glasses off.
Don't.
Yeah,
All right.
Don't.
What have you done, Yar? See, Yari, the people.
This is why you're
the
no
people,
longer second. I'm kidding.
The people want me to keep the sunglasses on.
The people want me to become a dictator.
Yeah. The people elected me for another year.
Thank you, Rowan.
Who am I to say? Who am I to say that it's wrong if the people elect me for 15 more years?
Is Rowan trying to be like a weird looking version of like Curtis Lewa? Or...
Oh, that's fair. I was thinking more of Hugo Chavez, but
no, that works.
Joe, you had something to say.
I just wanted to say thank you to Rose for all the hard work that Rose has put in this last year. I really appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate who you are and where your heart is. And I'm glad that you're still going to be a part of this committee. But it just, for real, thank you for everything you've done. And, just glad to have you as a part of the party. So,
Yes, can we
here's
get
some big.
actually? Please, can we get some applause for our 2 officers who are leaving the officership? Come on.
Oh, and Mitch too. Mitch,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for all you do.
No.
All right, I'll take the glasses off.
The glasses do actually look good.
Thank you, Gary. But yes, I am. I'm a little bit scared because I was getting into a bit of a persona there for a second. I need to put
I'll
these.
ship you the hat. I'll ship you the hat, AJ. You can have it. Give you the hat too. It'll work out really well.
Don't get in a helicopter with AJ.
When are we gonna make the 1 more year change real?
Never, please.
Chester, that's such a random question for Rowan. I think. Unless I missed something.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. California.
Aye.
Pennsylvania.
Aye.
Indiana. Oh. Indiana
Just
left after saying,
left.
"Okay, we're safe."
Left.
Okay, you're back. Indiana, aye or nay to adjourning?
Aye.
All right. Illinois
Aye.
and Massachusetts.
Aye.
All right. This meeting of the Pirate National Committee is adjourned. Thank you so much, current and former members of our board, for being here for this officer election. I am looking forward to a great, and I mean great, next year of the organization. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for voting Pirate, and please, in the future... Oh, Yara?
I was going to say, yes, you're kind of addressing it here, but I do want to just say a huge thank you to the fact that we had 26 voters, which is actually, honestly, more than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
And
I was trying to get out the vote.
For such a short window of time, I'm sure we can get more next time, but that's pretty good. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, we refine the process, work out the technical bugs, and yeah. Looks good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody, for voting Pirate. And in 2023 and 2024, depending on where you are, you should vote Pirate again. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Woo.
Woo. Are we...
Oh, I don't have the button.
Oh, I was
do
going to
have
say,
the
are
button.
you pressing the...
Who's pressing the button?
Sorry,
Okay,
everybody.
sorry.
That's
We
not...
shouldn't
That's
let
not
AJ... button. Don't let AJ have the button.
That's not as smooth anymore. Wow. I was all
hang
smooth.
on. You know, that was really good.
We're pressing the button.
One
We're pressing the button.
second. No,
We're pressing the button.
Smoothest end to
We're
the
pressing the
roughest.
button.
You assume
button-
that we're smooth. Look,
The button is pressed. The button is
Oh,
pressed.
okay.